want to extend my condolences to the Murphy family on the loss of Ashling Murphy. And I think the whole country has been united in sorrow and in anger over the last week, and that must mean something and it must count for something. But we have to remember, as was said, that Ashling is one of 244 women who have died violently since 1996. And we do have to question ourselves, why are we still here in 2022 with so much left to do? And the truth is that we haven't prioritised addressing violence against women, and we must do so now. We must do so in a serious way. And Minister, I listened intently to your contribution, and I do think that you are very genuine in your approach and in what you are setting out to do. And I'm also encouraged today across the political divide, because I didn't know what to expect coming in here today. And I am encouraged that there is a willingness and an openness to work together on this. And I think if there needs to be one legacy from Ashling, is that we do that, so that we play our part, because each of us has a part to play in terms of legislation and making sure that things change, and the things that women are asking us to change here and change now. I also remember today all the lives that have been cut short because of violence and domestic violence, because we often fail to remember that in our communities, the women who have suffered. And I think in capturing why the data is so important as well is that it's so hidden. The violence and abuse of women is so hidden. We know that only about 25% of women ever seek help. We know so much of it goes unreported. And again, we have to ask why. And the reason why is that women don't feel that they're going to get the support that they need. And immediately I would ask you that, because you know from all of these discussions, including today, there will be a huge increase in the women who will come forward. And I would encourage women to come forward, to get the support and get help. And I would ask, Minister, that you would make sure that the resources are there for all of those calls to be answered, and for women to be helped to get the help they need in a meaningful way. We need, and I also want, and we've asked for years for a minister solely in charge. And we all agree, again, that that is the way forward, that there's a key leadership role within Cabinet, because we know otherwise that things won't happen. And we know that everybody has been responsible and nobody has been responsible for many of the things that have happened that should have been addressed heretofore. I do want to acknowledge David Stanton and what he did in terms of coercive control. And I know Ivana is here. We worked, and I think it was a good example of us working, cross-party in the Shannon with the civic engagement group. And I don't want to start naming the individuals because I know I'll leave somebody out, but Colette Kelleher comes to mind as well, that she's no longer in the Shannon. And I do think, and I know that when David was doing that, and you'll know, Vanna, when he was trying to bring that forward, he was meeting with blocks, and you will meet with blocks. You will meet with blocks within the civil service of people who will say that can't be done. We cannot do it that way. And I would say to you, Minister, you have the collective mandates of all of us within the chamber here to get rid of those blocks and to make sure that we make a difference. I want to remember Sandra Collins today as well. And I want to appeal to people who, Sandra hasn't been seen since December 2000. She's one of the missing women. And the Garda file is still open on that. And all they want is for Sandra's, they accept now that she's no longer with us, that her body would be returned. So I want to appeal again today for that to be done. There's just another thing, Minister, I want to ask you. For perpetrators of violence, former partners and former husbands, please do something to make sure that children are not then forced to meet those perpetrators. There's too many judgments being made where it's known where there have been violent relationships and where they have been perpetrators of violence who are children are then made to go and meet those same people. So there's many things that we can do. I feel encouraged by the commitments today, and we will work together, and it's our duty. I want to ask you as well, can we bring this back onto the floor, say every 2 months, even for this year, to make sure that we measure the commitments that have been made today in terms of the the strategy and in terms of the other things, that we continuously measure that these things have been done. We cannot just afford to let this slide.